Imagine Europe at the beginning of the 20th century, a continent of empires, claims, old grievances, and new hopes. A place where every piece of land is someone's wound, and every border is a frozen front line, only without trenches. It would seem the most educated, most industrialized, most civilized corner of the earth. Yet it was here that humanity twice, in less than a generation, endured two wars that dismantled the world to its foundations. Today, we won't just analyze two conflicts. We will see one story, torn into two parts. A single dramatic scenario, played by actors of different eras, but on the very same stage, the stage of Europe. On June 28, 1914, the streets of Sarajevo shimmered in the summer heat. They carried the scent of the market, coffee, hot stone, an ordinary Balkan day. And then a sound that changed the world. Gavrilo Princip's 2 shots. These bullets didn't just kill Archduke Franz Ferdinand. They killed old Europe. A complex web of alliances, like a colossal set of dominoes, arranged so closely that merely pushing one piece causes the entire structure to fall, breaking under its own weight. Serbia, Austria-Hungary, Russia, Germany, France, Britain. Each step was inevitable. This wasn't just an explosion. It was a mechanism set in motion for decades. And here's the unsettling question. Why, just over 20 years later, did it all repeat itself? The answer is simple, but unpleasant. Europe hadn't changed. All the same empires, just under different flags. All the same ambitions, merely wrapped in new slogans. All the same grievances, simply put on the back burner. After the First World War, the world wasn't rebuilt anew. It was stitched together with coarse thread, hastily, clumsily, from scraps. The Treaty of Versailles didn't solve Germany's problem, it created it. The victors didn't think about peace, they thought about punishment. The vanquished didn't think about repentance, they thought about revenge. In place of a charred forest, new trees should have been planted. But Europe merely smoothed out the ashes and said, well, that's it, let's move on. Yet ashes are never stable. If embers smolder beneath them, they will ignite again. Germany made the same gamble twice, and lost twice. In 1914, the Schlieffen Plan, a strike against France, a swift right hook, defeat in 6 weeks. In 1940, the Blitzkrieg, a strike against France, a rapid breakthrough through the Ardennes, defeat in 6 weeks. Both ideas were audacious,
if we strike here, through the Ardennes,
brilliant on paper, and both deadly in practice. In 1914, Germany failed to account for the power of positional warfare. In 1940, Germany failed to account for the fact that a blitzkrieg cannot be repeated indefinitely. The same concept, the same faith in speed, the same underestimation of resistance, the same overestimation of its own capabilities. Two wars, one mistake. One nation stepped on the same mine twice. France is an even more tragic example. In 1914, she expected a swift, maneuverable war, but got 4 years of trenches. In 1939, she expected another round of trenches, but received Guderian's lightning tank strike. In 1914, the French army went on the offensive in bright trousers, as if on parade. In 1939, she sat behind the Maginot Line, as if a wall could replace strategy. 2 wars, 2 mistakes. But in both, the same essence. France always prepared for the last war. The First World War was the birth of technologies, tanks, aviation, radio, chemistry. The Second World War was their maturation. The tank became the master of the battlefield. The airplane became a strategic weapon. Radio became the army's nervous system. Encoding became the weapon of invisible warfare. Imagine the First World War as the first automobile, loud, slow, but revolutionary. And the second, that's already a racing car, where speed, maneuvers, and power transformed the very meaning of the road. Between the wars, only 20 years, but technologically, a whole century. Everyone talks about Hitler as the cause of the Second World War, but Hitler is merely a consequence. If Versailles hadn't been humiliating, if Germany hadn't been in economic agony, if Europe hadn't dreamed of revanche, if the 1929 crisis hadn't struck the world, if the victors had thought about peace, not revenge, Hitler wouldn't have been able to rise. Historians often say, the Second World War was inevitable. But a more precise formulation, the First World War created the Second. One war, 2 acts. But if the roots are the same, why was the outcome so different? Because the world had changed. The USA intervened not at the end, but at the beginning. The USSR became a superpower, not a weakened empire. Aviation replaced artillery. Tanks swept away trench warfare. Universal armies replaced mass armies.
We will not
But
cede this
most
territory.
importantly,
Our position
Europe
is final.
in 1945 was ready to learn. In 1919, it was not. History does not repeat itself. It rhymes. The First World War was a warning. The Second, the reckoning for not heeding it. Today, we look at these 2 cataclysms through decades, but their lesson is one. If the world does not dissect the causes of disaster, it is doomed to relive its repetition. 2 wars, 2 generations, 1 mistake by Europe, and the moment the world understood. The Second World War, an unfinished first.